Hello everybody, this is Fanny. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Ooh, look at my skin, so shiny. I just got this glow from Gilo Beauty. Seriously, I never usually do just aloe. Natural aloe is really good for was really good for my skin because it dries my skin, right? But all this time I thought I needed to dry my skin, but sometimes it was actually the opposite. I need to hydrate my skin. This is super hydrating, and look at, it's crazy actually. Wow, it's like, wow, okay. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about my skin. But I see a lot of posts about, a lot of posts. It's not just one person, it's a lot of posts about, oh, the surface, let's not talk about just the surface. And I'm the same. I'm saying, hey, let's not talk about just love and light. And it's not just love and light, and it's not just self-love. We all rely on each other. But sometimes it's good if people want to share that they're feeling good, if people want to share that their success. Everybody's fighting a battle. Everybody's fighting a battle every day. So when it takes you the courage, the strength to focus on the good, because you want to share that. For the longest time, you didn't know anything about what's going on in my life. I had many friends from France. I would go back to France. I would tell them. They wouldn't even know I was going through a divorce or through being completely broke in debt. I wouldn't share anything because I wanted to share only the good, because this is where the energy I wanted to spread to everybody. And people would write to me and they were like, oh, you inspire me, it uplifts me and stuff. And since I started sharing all of my crap, which I think I have to, because otherwise people think it's all perfect, and then you feel like crap if you see people who are feeling all perfect, and you're like, why am I not like this? And then you feel like crap, and then you can go really, really down like that. And that, some of my friends wouldn't even know what's going on. So then I started sharing all my crap that happens, and this is when, my following started going down. Like, I barely have anybody, not a lot of people follow my posts. Most of my friends, they kind of annoyed that I was just repeating my problems and stuff like that. But yes, this is life. And I was just seeing this post I just shared from Trent Shelton. Actually, Dean posted that, shared about him, and I went to see his page, and I was like, wow, that just hit me, because everything that he says about, these thoughts of wanting to kill yourself, and I've had that for so long, and thinking like, oh, I don't want to bother people with my problems, or be a burden, all this kind of stuff. And so this is why, now that I found my community online, I have my mentors, my friends, I share about Billy Carson and Matthias and Tony Robbins, and because this is my family. It's my family. Once I found my brothers and my sisters, and Carissa Cucci, who works with Tony Robbins, like every time they come online and they make a post or something, it uplifts your energy. It's like sharing in this community. And now that I get to actually meet them, and it's making in this connection, there's nothing to be jealous about. It's the opposite. We're celebrating that we're finding this family, that you finally have people who love each other like so much. Even Elizabeth Oxtra, she just published her book. I saw her this weekend, and we instantly connected and talked and about her book. She opens up about everything, and wow, it takes courage to do both. So let's just not like judge each other. It takes courage for people to talk about their bad experiences, and it takes courage also for people to share about the good ones, okay, to go over their dark side and to share the good. So let's not judge people that, oh, they're fake, they're only superficial, sharing about the good stuff. No, let's stop criticizing each other, just encouraging. And one thing that just hit me, of course, I'm not mentioning Dean, because like Dean is pretty much, of course I have all my community that we support each other unconditionally. And Dean is probably the first one since the beginning that's always been there for me, like every day, unconditionally. Like the love that I have for him is unbelievable, unexplainable, you know. It's, and despite, you know, this energy that they take in lifting everybody up, and more than even themselves, it's just, and oops, one thing that Trent Shelton said that's really like, he was like, don't wait until people succeed to congratulate them. You know, for this long time when I was going through all my crap, everybody zoned out of my life. Okay, a very few stayed. There is some that came to help me, that saw what was going on, and they came to help me. But very few stayed. And for some of people that were here, I just always had this feeling that it was like, yeah, we'll talk to you when we make it, when you make it. You know, it was like, oh, we're here waiting for you at the top. We'll talk to you when you make it. And I was like, but it's not when I make it that I'm going to need it. And most of these persons that I still love them because I have, you know, I love people not for what they give me or for what I expect from them, but for who they are. But somehow I had this resentment, frustration building up because I was like, but all these people who wanted to have nothing to do with me because they were going to talk to me when I make it, when I prove that I can, I'm not going to want to be with these people anymore, because this is not when I'm going to need it. This is now when I'm struggling that I need it. To have people who, you know, who show up for me, who talk to me, and not when I make it. And he was saying that, I was like, yes, you know, it's not once you're successful that all of your friends are going to come back. Ah, you made it. Yeah, no, it's in every day. And honestly, there are not many, and this I would never forget. These people that stayed and that are still with me in the good times and the bad times, and that even directly or indirectly, by the way, that are here, you feel in the energy. This is forever. This is forever. I have my long life friends that we were always good, and that when everything went down, they all disappeared. Okay, well, cool. When we go to brunch, we'll go to brunch. But this is not the same space in my heart as the people who showed up when I had nothing, when I was a struggle, when I had my moods, when I had nothing to bring, even though I feel like I always had something to bring. We always have something to bring. But that, you know, it's not like you have to be successful to hang out. Like the successful people just hang out with the successful people, or no, there's no difference for me. Like my friends, I have people I admire just as much. The people I share, you know, oh, my dream, I met Billy Carson and Elizabeth, they're Oakstra this weekend, or oh, I met Matthias Di Stefano, or oh my God, I'm all about, you know, Dean and Tony Robbins. And but I also admire my friends that, you know, that are not famous and that raise their children by themselves, or who open a restaurant, or who have this great idea. I'm always like, oh, this is such a good idea you have, you know, even though sometimes it may be like, oh, what was this chick is weird. But you know, it's about supporting, and it doesn't mean that I can help everybody either. Like, you know, sometimes I wish I could help people more. When I'm able to, I will help more. For now, you know, I'm trying to help as many people I can. I'm trying to promote everybody's support, but also, you know, like Dean said, you have to put your oxygen mask on also before you can reach out to more. And it's taking a long journey. It's been a tough journey. But you know what? I'm proud of myself yet, because I'm still doing it as slow as I am. I'm still doing my projects. I'm still doing my visions, my purpose, and new projects, and encouraging people. And so yeah, this was my little success post for today. And yeah, saying hi to you guys, and thank you for, yes, my community that I love so much. And yes, when I see, and Will Smith also, you know, when I saw that made me think also about a lot of stuff, that, you know, he punched this guy because he was saying a joke, right, about his wife. And sometimes people make jokes about me that maybe 2 years ago I'd be like super freaking offended, and now I'm maybe laughing about it. Or maybe there is something that would never offend someone else, but from me, because it's one of my experience that been betrayed before, and someone does or sorry, my camera shut off. So what was I saying? Let's imagine, yes, Will Smith. Yes, Will Smith. I wanted to talk about that, the triggers, right? We all let, sometimes someone will make fun of me, and I'm just gonna laugh. I make fun of myself all the time, right? I'm sometimes like, for example, sometimes I'm mixed up. I make a video and I tell a story and I mix up everything, and then I rewatch it. Or one day I made this post, right, about a medicine, right? I was like, oh, what? They're trying to give us a COVID vaccine when you can actually solve it with this medicine, like blah blah blah. So sure about myself, and like 3 months later, I realized like it wasn't even the right name of the medicine. Like it was like something completely different. I was like, oh my god, I'm always such a blonde, But this is like, I think it's the funny stuff about myself, and I won't really take offense from that. It's the opposite, that will make me laugh. But there's some other stuff. For example, someone betrays me or makes me believe something, and that then betrays me, right? And then if someone is going to act like that, or in a way that makes me doubt, or that triggers this in me, it's gonna hurt me a lot. I'm gonna have a really bad reaction when people maybe won't understand. And Will Smith was the same thing. I think, there was a joke and they didn't realize how painful what they've been going through. Maybe I don't know exactly what's going on, if she's sick, but that must have been a really tough time that they were going through, and a joke about that triggers them. You should not make fun of sick people, even though sometimes I feel like I'm crazy and like people would make fun of. I remember when there's some crazy stuff that happened for 2 years, the past 3 years of my life, and everybody I would talk to about it not believe me. My best friends, I would tell them what's going on in my life. My husband, my best friends, people would literally call me crazy. Best friends, like, tell me, no, you smoke too much, or you can be serious, or no, you're not that important, like you're making stuff up. Like, imagine like your best friend, the people that are supposed to be closer to you, that just talk to you like you're a baby that doesn't know crap, right? And it's completely mental crazy. So then you start to believe it. You start be like, oh man, okay, I'm crazy. I'm just not gonna say anything. So I was like shut silent for 2 years with that. My community that came up online, I would be gone by now. I won't been wanting to kill myself for 2 years. I'm saying it. And so yeah, the people who showed up, I love them. I freaking love them. Like, if you're watching this and you're still with me in the journey, I freaking love you. And it's like the brothers and sisters, this is still the love we're all talking about, unconditional love and the new world and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually our relationship and really loving, then we still have this jealousy. Or sometimes it's just so overwhelming that we don't know really how to deal with it. And so yeah, there is still this jet lag, let's say, between what our vision, what we want, what we say, and the way we actually experience it. And like I said, plus all of our triggers that we have for ourselves. So let's not, I see a lot of like critics, like on the comments, on the post, and all the people, or for example, like, it's easy when this, mortgage fraud, all this stuff. It's not mortgage fraud. It's freaking the government finally putting in place some some solutions for the people to get out of debt. And I used to be, when I was a teenager, I used to be anti-government, anti-military, anti-everything. But I'm not anymore, because they want to fill the gap. They want to cooperate. It's about cooperation. Now, if we really want to change the world, is by cooperating with each other. And like, of course, we still have to say what's wrong. It's not, oh, everything is beautiful, everybody has great intention. No, life has shown to each one of us, I'm sure, in our own experiences, that not everybody has the best intention. There are still pharmaceuticals that make crap ton of money, because nowadays, you can heal just by the energy of a plant. Okay, I barely smoke weed anymore, because now I'm just like infused, I guess, in such a young age, that I don't even need to actually smoke it. I just think of it, and I'm the energy of it. But so not everything is perfect. We have to denounce the things that are wrong, but offering, the solution, and actually changing the things from the inside. Okay. And so yeah, the triggers, because this is what every conflict that has nonsense, most of the time it's difference of perception. Everything is difference of perception. So anyways, yes. And yeah, but yeah, watch this video that I just shared from Trent Shelton. That was really incredible, the way he said it. And yes, it's true, there are so many people who struggle, and we don't know. And success nowadays, I don't care about being rich, like, I'm scared of lacking, because I've always been lacking in my I've never lacked of anything, but I've always been wondering, oh, how am I going to be independent? How am I going to be able to afford this? And for me, it's important to give it to my son, and to have this independence. Because I was seeing again this morning a post that was saying, oh, these rich kids, they grow up with Ferraris, they grow up with Ferraris and girls and whatever. They have no value for anything. This is not true. This is not true at all. This is education. This is how you raise your kids. Okay? We're not rich, and my son sometimes he behaves like this already. He's like, you give him something, but he wants more of it. He doesn't know. I give him like 3 plates of food in front of him, and he's like, no, I don't want this. I want something else. And I don't spoil him at all. And maybe some kids have everything, and they're gonna be so. It's in the gene as well. It's in the genes. Like, he's got some traits of my, of family members that are just never content. They just complain all the time. So I'm fighting with this, I'm struggling for this to change that with my son, and this is a hard thing for me. And so for me personally, my fight for my son, it's not to teach him to make a living or to pay for his thing. No, I want to cover that for him. I don't want him to worry about money, or at least having a home. Having a home should be the minimum for everybody. I don't think anyone in the world should worry about having a place to live, having a rent, having a home. Everybody should have that. And for me, my goal for my son is that what is he going to do with it? What is he going to do with what I give him? And what values, how is he going to spend his time, all this time that he doesn't have to worry about how he's going to pay for a home? What is he going to do to go deeper into his passions and stuff like that? And you have people that are extremely rich, and they give everything, like Dean and Tony Robbins. Okay, I don't have to look far. This is why I picked them in my circle, and that I admire them so much, because they could stop working. They could, Tony Robbins, he just published his book Life Force, and 100% of the profits are donated to the medical research and stuff like that. So you choose also the people you surround yourself with, right? If you want to surround yourself with the people who spend all their money at the club, and so what? I mean, people do whatever they want. Like, why? Who are we to criticize? You know, their parents, they're rich and they gave to their kids and they spend all their money at the club. Well, this is their choice for their life, and maybe when they're 40, they're gonna wake up one day and they're gonna be like, you know, the universe has its way. The universe has its way. Okay, maybe this guy that is at the club, one day he's gonna save someone's life that is at the club. Or maybe this guy that's at the club, one day he's gonna have an accident that's gonna change his life. And you know, the universe has this way to make you accomplish what you're here for. So there's no judgment to have for how people decide to raise their kids or spend their money and stuff like that. What I believe is that nobody should struggle for having a roof over their head or for eating. And so this is the community, right, that we need to build. And the jealousy thing about this unconditional love, it's easy to say until someone that you love, really love, does it to you, and then you're jealous because you would like them to be just for you. But there is different kind of love, you know, there is different kind of love. And then when you say that there is the love of the brothers and sisters, there is the romantic love. And then when you tell someone you want to be romantic, then you gotta show up. I mean, why would you want to be with someone and be all about someone else? I mean, I don't know, like, you have to be clear also, you know. If anyways, it's not my, I'm not gonna put this out there, but yes, so it's all about, essentially, when you're criticizing, you know, someone else, and like this Will Smith, like, you know, some people need to be slapped in the face. I mean, you know, there's non-violence. Yeah, no violence. No violence. It's not good, but you know, sometimes it's good to argue. You know, sometimes I argue with my son. Every day we argue, and it's good because then we get to explain the things instead of keeping it in. Then you just separate from each other, you know. So conflict sometimes is productive if you're trying to look for a solution. All right, anyways, I'm having a great day today. The sun is back in Florida. Oh my god, the sun is medicine. You know, as soon as I go out, I go to the beach, life is completely different. We get out from school, we stop, we get some food, we go eat on the beach, and life is beautiful again. You know, when I'm here on my computer, oh my god, I need to make it this, I need to make this, oh my god, and I'm not fast enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not successful enough, I'm not making money, I'm just dig my, I dig my grave, right? But when I step out, I go outside, I go to the beach, the sun, it's summer, and then the smile comes back. Everything is easier. Now I'm going to work on one thing tonight. And divine timing, yes, that was another thing. Sorry, you see, I was going to come out for 5 minutes, but it's just a lot of things I saw on social media for the past 2 days. And every time I was going to write a comment, and then I was like, oh, there is so much, I'm going to make a video. Oh, sorry. Divine timing, yes. Spiritual badasses, I think, on Instagram. I like his page. He also shares cool stuff, and he was making a video yesterday. I'll probably tag him so he sees it, about divine timing, right? He was saying, are we really, if there is a divine timing, if the universe plan this. Our life is planned out. Oh, I need to get this one out. If our life is planned out, are we really the creator of our life? So that's a good question. I ask myself this question all the time, because I believe in divine timing. And for example, sometimes it's already April at the beginning of the year. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. The movie should be done already. My taxes. I'm preparing my Flower of Life workshop for May. Well, this is almost ready. I just have to finish printing the leaflet. Then I'm preparing this team building. Oh, there is someone with us. When I start yawning like this, it's I yawn a lot like that. It's information that's coming through me every time I start yawning like this, or it's either there is a healer or it's information coming through. The team buildings, I'm starting team buildings also. The team buildings, I'm almost wrote it all down on my phone. I need to write down a booklet, okay? And I want to come down to your company when I go out and I talk to people and they don't know who Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi is, or they don't know who Billy Carson or the Tablet Emeralds, or they don't know Matthias De Stefano, and I'm like, what? Like, how is it possible? Like, you see them, they have like millions of followers and you think everybody knows it, or Resonance Science Foundation, but some people still don't know that exists, right? That, for example, in France, French people are not about marketing. French people are not about spiritual development. I've said it before. French people are perfect, so we don't need to work on ourselves. We know it all. But yet, everybody is depressed. When you go there is the same depression that in the rest of the world, right? Except that in France, we complain a lot. We criticize and we complain a lot. So it's not very productive, right? But when I talk to my friends about Dean and Tony, like, oh no, this guy is marketing. Oh no, there's always marketing. Oh, it's always like trying to sell their stuff. And I'm like, but why is there so many people following them? There is a reason. Like, before you judge, like, go deeper. You know, you can't just watch 1 minute or 2 minutes of something and be like, oh, they just do that. Okay, go deeper, go watch a full training, and then if you don't like it, it's not for you, then okay. But don't judge something, mostly if like you're not happy with everything in your life, then there are solutions. There is magic. And this is, you know, someone was asking, what is the one thing you would, if you had to if you died tomorrow and you had to tell the world one thing, what would it be? And that's, magic is real. That is my thing. That is my magic is real. Like, in my life, every day there is magic in everything. The most simple detail, like the clothes I choose to wear, or the car that's in front of me. Today I had the school bus in front of my car, and it's like bus number 13, mystery, like Miss 10, or like, that was crazy, like mystery school, right? And all these synchronicities like this. Or my oracle card, the Mother Earth Oracle, every single card is magic. And you know, if, let's imagine or when I did this challenge the other day, I was like, if you had a wish, 3 wishes, if you had a magic lamp and you had 3 wishes, what would they be? Do it. If you had 3 wishes and you had a magic lamp, 3 wishes, what would they be? And say it. And it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Maybe in the divine timing, and like yes, same thing about the divine timing. I think it's both. I think the universe is always constantly leading us towards our destiny, but we're also tested, you know, or how bad do we want it? You know, what are we ready, you know, if there is, but there is also the divine timing. Okay, so if you're ready for it, you're gonna have a challenge, or you're gonna have, you don't always have to be tested, but something is gonna happen. Maybe you're gonna choose this, or you're gonna choose something else. And so you're co-creating it, right? And it's like the twists and turns. So sometimes you're going to make all the right choices and you're going to still go to your goal faster. And sometimes you have more experiences that make you twist and turn, but at some other point of your life, you're going to be presented with the same challenge. If you haven't been through it, then this is when you're going to have to find the question, the solution. If you've already been through it, then you already know. So what you go through now is going to help you to save time later. And if you go straighter to success, and there's people that are successful and millionaires like really young, and then later down this life, it doesn't prevent them from going through other challenges, right? So, and sometimes you are being stopped from doing something. Like, for example, I have so many examples of this, but for example, when I was driving to Miami the other day, so I sleep a lot. Like there's times that I barely sleep at all. Like for the past year, I barely slept at all. I was almost insomniac. I would sleep like 3-4 hours a night. I would stay up till 5 in the morning, wake up at 9, you know. And now, like this past month, I just sleep a lot. I just sleep like 12 hours, 15 hours, like crazy. So I go to Miami the other day, and so I wasn't really tired. I slept a lot. And literally after just 1 hour, I have to stop. Like I'm driving and my eyes are closing. My eyes are just closing. Like I can't even help it. I'm driving and like my eyes are closing. I'm on the highway. I'm like, Esteban, I need to stop. Like I can't. I'm just gonna stop at the first whatever. I'm parking there and I'm gonna sleep. So I stop. I give him my phone so he can play a video game. I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep for 10 minutes. I put my alarm clock and I sleep for 13 minutes. And I wake up and I'm perfect again. And then on the way back, same thing. I'm driving for not even an hour, like 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, which is not a lot, usually you get tired after 2 hours of driving. After 30 minutes, I'm like, same thing. My eyes are closing. I can't. I have to stop. And I even feel like it's not me. I feel like maybe I'm astral traveling. I'm not even in my body anymore. It's just like my body's shutting down. I have to stop. I sleep. And this made me, and right after I saw this post about the divine timing question, you know, I was like, sometimes you are purposely being slowed down, because maybe if I didn't, maybe I would have had an accident 2 miles later, you know? And so something was taking me, and even sometimes I'm driving and I feel like there is, you know, when I go to long drives like that, I feel like I'm not the only one driving. Like I drive for 2-3 hours, and I usually after 3 hours, I see something in the sky, and then all of a sudden I see it's not me driving anymore. I feel like someone comes and helped me to finish the drive, and I'm just flying through the drive every single time. That's really weird. So yeah, I think it's both. I think there is the divine timing, and sometimes, you know, like I said, if you're not surrounding with the people who support you or believe you, personally, I can't do, like, for example, the things I'm about to do for my team buildings. This is going to be the perfect timing to start for me right now in May, because there are things that I want to talk about, that my condition, how I was at the moment, was not the right condition. Like, you can't really talk about your divorce if you're in the middle of it, for example. Yet you can help once you're over it, because just for some reason, because as long as I was still fighting, you know, or with my husband, I can't just put our stuff out there until we take the time to discuss it. And okay, what are we gonna do? How, you know, now it's over. Who cares? We're both taking our different routes. He can say whatever he wants about me and vegan, and I can say whatever I want. Doesn't matter. Still being respectful of each other, of course. But I couldn't help people while I was still in that struggle at this, talking about that. Now there's many things I want to talk about. Divorce, how social condition, all these things I'm talking about in this video. Actually, what are the values, like teaching your kids that they have to make it in life, how to survive, how to make a living, all this stuff that right now it's just ruining my life. I'm like, I just don't care about that. I don't care about taxes. I don't care about how much I have in my bank account. I don't care about how much money I make for. I don't care. I want to care about what's the quality of my content. What is the value I bring to people? How much love do I give? Like, am I good enough? Am I kind? Did I offend someone? How can we all value each other, support each other? These are the stuff I care about. So when I'm like, oh, okay, how much value I deliver? Okay, but how much is it gonna make me? Because I have to make the money to pay my mortgage. For me, this is irrelevant. For me, this is old society. For me, like I said, no one should have to fight for paying their rent. This should be given. This should be given, so we could focus on building the society of kindness. All right? And like Dean says, money is always the source of mostly everything, right? And so this is the old concept, the society of survival, right? Now we're the society of magic, the love, the magic. This is my message. When you put something out there, when you do like a little ritual, and my cards, my oracle cards, all the symbols are magic, completely magical, and they work. Whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen. Maybe not at the moment, like I've told about it before. If this show Charmed, the sisters, right? The three sisters, and they are here, they're doing a ritual, and they have like the angel appears and the thing, whatever. Well, it might not look like it read like that, but it actually is happening. Like I've had Archangel, like have a Metatron come inside my house, like open the door, and literally like a wind comes in the house, like in the cartoons, with the leaves and stuff, like the little spiral leaves and things coming into my house, and I'd be like, whoa, okay. And that is crazy, because when your life is magical, then you're never alone. We're all connected. We're all constantly talking. There is this telepathy. There is this understanding. Like you can't be mad at each other because you understand. This is the beauty about it. Like some people do things that offend me, but yet I can't be mad because I feel just my point of view, and I know their point of view as well. So we both know maybe, okay, how we bothered each other, and then by just having this common understanding is love, because you're elevating high enough that you can forgive into or accept or love in despite of every circumstances, so that's the beauty about it. That's the new fight. That's the new value, right? And we're gonna recycle everything. Okay, the military, there will always be a military, but it doesn't have to be a military of war. It can be a military of technology. Okay, they just created the Space Force. Everybody's starting working together now. The billionaires and millionaires, now they're the NASA and stuff like that. I don't know, I saw the NASA is looking for billions of funds and stuff. I don't think it's the government that funds this kind of stuff anymore. It's the people, right? So it's collaborative society, magical, emotional, spiritual, all of that. um yeah. And yes, there is still like half, 3/4 of the planet that is still struggling, for money. And this is why, whew, like sometimes for me, I'd prefer to work for a company and having my paycheck, right, than having to negotiate every contract. I don't like to do it, even though I studied it. I literally studied negotiation because I was all about government conspiracies. That was my thing. I was all about the government conspiracies and how we're being, everything is in plain sight and we're being ripped off. And, there is this giant gap between the rich and the poor. And so this was 10 years ago, right? And I was like, no, I won't study negotiation because I want to be able to identify it. Okay, so when people are trying to scam us, or when there is lies on the TV, when there is all these things, I'm able to see it. I can read it, I can detect it. And I was good also in the negotiation and stuff, but in real life, I never really liked doing it like for money. You know what I mean? It was more for truth seeking the truth, values, all this stuff. When it comes to how much money I'm gonna make of my content, of my business, I give everything for free, and this was I'm broke. Yeah, so sometimes I'm like, I'd rather work for a company, have my paycheck, so all of my business, what I do with the art, I can do that just for free. For me, my success doesn't depend on how much money I'm gonna make with my art. It's how much, like I said, when I talk to people, and, oh, you don't know Dean, you don't know Tony, oh my God, like, how do you go through life? Like, like it's crazy. Like when I see, how many people I talk to my friends, okay, yeah, well, we're kind of depressed, it's not great, blah, 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 but okay, find the resources. There are superheroes, humans that are here to help you just by their presence. They just make you feel better, right? So, and yes, and they're right. And like when they're selling me, when I'm buying from Dean and Tony, or buying a book, like for example, the tablets of Emerald, they are available for free on internet. You can have them for free. But I like to support my favorite authors. I like to support the businesses. I value the community, because if we all find the content for free, then the content will die off. Even Wikipedia, sometimes they send an email and they ask for donations because they do everything for free. But if everybody contributes a little bit, they can keep doing it. If no one ever wants to spend anything or contribute to anything, well, your favorite businesses, your favorite people, your favorite resources, they're gonna disappear. So when I buy a training, well, lately I can't because I'm really, really broke. But I mean, it's not that I'm really, really broke. It's just I'm like, I can't spend money. I need to make money. But most of the time, let's say, when they're actually trying to sell me something, I'm not like, oh, they're selling me something again. No, I'm like, oh my God, I want it. Oh my God, why I can't afford it? Oh my God, like my goal is to have this training. Next time I'm going to be at the Unleash the Power Within. I was like, how wasn't at the Unleash the Power Within? I was like, man, next time I will be, what was it? Impact Accelerator Live. That was the best training ever. Like, oh my goodness, this was so good. This was like the best $200 ever, invested in a training. Like, you watch for one weekend and you're pumped up for a month, instead of being like depressed and like believing in yourself. Like for me, just watching them being so excited, I'm excited. It just gives me faith in humanity. Sometimes it makes me believe in myself even, but this is the bonus. But just to watch them, I see Tony Robbins' enthusiasm, I see Carissa Cucci's enthusiasm, Dean Graciosi's enthusiasm, I see them, or Billy Carson, like how much knowledge, like super genius man, he knows like how much knowledge is this guy putting in his head and able to re-deliver, or I see that and I'm like, wow, I believe in humanity again, and just for that I'm like, oh, I have to stay to be a part of it. And when how did I start posting about them and like going to all their events, or at least try to? It's because at first when I saw this enthusiasm, I saw all these geniuses, I was like, excuse me guys, like I'm in, like how do we become a part of this? Like what the hell? Like I'm in, like not what the hell, what the heaven, like I was like, I want to be a part of this. I was like, I want to be like that. I want to see this kind of enthusiasm, excitement every day in my life, So then this is when I was like, okay, I'm going to all the event, and I started sharing because, some of my friends, I talked to them and they're like, Dean, who's this Dean? I'm like, wait, you don't know? I never talked to you about Dean? Like, you don't follow my page? Like, I post about him, like, all the time. And okay, here, take the training. Go look at the training. Like, they're going to change your life. It's crazy. But then people don't want to. Like, you give them even for free. They don't... so yeah, we still have work to do. Like there is, even though maybe they have 100,000 people or 1 million people almost. They had for, what was it, the Own Your Future Challenge, I think they had almost 1 million people. 1 million people? Can you imagine? Well, it means there is still 7,900,000 people who wasn't there. Okay, so there is still there is still work to do, guys. Okay. We're gonna do this. Okay, so yeah, that was just my thoughts for today. A little long, but well, that was kind of the response to all of the posts that I've seen on the social media. And concerning this divine timing also, sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of excuses, to say, oh, this is divine timing. Yeah, it was not supposed to happen. Yeah, I tell myself that when I'm kind of like looking for excuses, like I should be, I've been a little bit lazy, and I'm like, oh yeah, this didn't happen before, but because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, excuses, So you can't go against your body. If your body needs to sleep, if your body shuts down, you need to listen to your body. At the same time, don't just fall into that. It's when you push yourself and you go out, and if you're not into going into the gym and stuff, just go out, go to the beach, just go to the beach. It changes your day, it changes everything, which remotivates you. And the winter, the animals, they hibernate in the winter. So there is a reason. Okay, it's the cycles of nature. We follow the cycles of nature as well. So there's no beating yourself up. And even though I'm not very, I haven't produced as much as I wanted this year, at the same time, I'm like, I haven't quite spent one day without working. Even when I was in Egypt, I was still producing content. I was still taking the pictures, taking notes, journaling, making lives or videos in order to make that movie. When I was in France, I went to France to actually take care of my grandmother, and I was like, well, when I'm going to France, I'm gonna do this exhibition, promote my art in France. And so it's been many times that I haven't actually taken a week just to do nothing or hang by my pool, or I'm always doing something, reading, because then after the books, the reading, I do my workshops or I do a video. But this is because when you're passionate about what you're doing, you never really work and you're never really on holidays, because this is your life, you know. So when I take a day off or I'm just not doing anything, I'm trying to shut down that voice inside my head that says like, you're not doing enough, like you should be doing more. I'm like, okay, just take that you have to take a day off, take the day off completely. Don't beat yourself all day. So then the day after, you can focus on your work completely. Instead, if you're going to take a day off, then take a day off. Don't be taking a day off and thinking, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, you're going to ruin your day off. And then the day after, you're going to be thinking, oh, I should be going to the beach or whatever. Okay, so finding the balance between accepting the things, and if you've been lazy and you haven't produced as much as you have been able to, because maybe what you go through is just too much for you and just you can't, well, now is the present time. This is the only time when you can change things, is now. Everything from before, it's too late. So don't beat yourself up if you didn't do enough, or you were not ready, or not strong enough, or too slow. The only time when you can change something is right now and tomorrow. That's it. So how do you want to change it? All right. Good night, everybody. I hope you have a great day, a great week. See, I'm excited about my skin. First day, I always have a bad skin after the winter. And you see, I start to have some stains because so much sun. I used to go to the sun a lot when I was younger. Like I would stay hours in the sun. And now I start having kind of like little stains, you see, on my skin here. So I'm excited about the new cream. When I put it, the mask today, it was kind of almost like heating my skin. I like it. It's like, oh yeah, I burn that skin. Like I'm gonna do a lot of exfoliation. I'm trying to get rid of those stains here. So I'm gonna try to literally like remove that first layer of skin, like really like run it a lot, and then not that bad, but and then with the serum to re-nourish it. Okay, try to get rid of those stains from the sun. And yeah, I needed that after the winter. I always have like this weird skin, and then in the summer I get in the sun, all tan, the skin is better. So yeah, excited. Yeah, and sometimes it's good to be a little bit superficial and not be looking for all the dramas of the world, because sometimes you have so much, you know, if you go through all the dramas, maybe you want to be light. And so let's be light. Okay. Bye guys. I love you. Have a great evening.